Guys, welcome to a classic Western movie review of 1975's Breakheart Pass, starring Charles Bronson, Richard Crenna and Jill Ireland. Now, directed by Tom Gries, this is the Western thriller that sees a mysterious prisoner, John Deakin, played by Charles Bronson, a man accused of murder and arson, transported to a remote outpost where a supposed epidemic has broken out. Now, as the train progresses towards its destination, passengers begin dying under mysterious and suspicious circumstances, and Deakin finds himself having to uncover a conspiracy involving arms smuggling, gold theft, betrayal, and hidden identities before the train reaches its destination. Based on the novel, of course, by Alistair MacLean, Breakheart Pass blends a Western setting with a mystery thriller. Let's take a look. So Breakheart Pass is quite an unusual entry in the Western genre. Rather than simply relying on the usual shootouts, saloons and horseback pursuits across dusty plains, it's got an almost Agatha Christie whodunit vibe running through it. It also blends together elements that I'm a big fan of, westerns for a start, but when you throw in the film set on a train subgenre and a good old broody performance from Charles Bronson, it ticks a bunch of the boxes already for me. And so here we are in the late 19th century, and there's a train carrying soldiers travelling across the frozen west, and in true whodunit thriller style, we have an eclectic cast of characters on board for various reasons. The passengers include a governor played by Richard Crenna and his charge, Marika, played by Jill Ireland. And also on board is the Marshal, played by Ben Johnson. And it's when this Marshal stops by a local tavern at the beginning of the movie that he stumbles upon a poker game that is causing an argument thanks to Charles Bronson's Deakin, who it turns out is a man apparently wanted by the law. The Marshal, of course, arrests him and takes him aboard the train, which is exactly where Deakin wants to be as soon all hell will break loose. Now, before I get much further in the review, I have to mention the real main character in the movie, which is clearly the steam locomotive used in the movie, which I think gets the most screen time of any character here. Director Tom Gries, realising he's got access to this beauty of a train and some stunning scenery. Incidentally, the film is set in Nevada but was actually shot in Idaho and Arizona, and he never misses an opportunity to cut back to a shot of the train winding its way through the snow or over bridges, etc. And so, yeah, we have Bronson and co. stuck aboard the train, and it's not long before some of the passengers begin falling, literally sometimes, foul of a mysterious killer or killers. And it's not really a spoiler to say that Bronson isn't the outlaw he's initially painted as, but the kind of guy who's going to save the day. And of course, this kind of role is Bronson's bread and butter. It's a role that showcases that classic brand of understated charisma and physical presence. A man of few words who is calm and observant enough to piece together the mysteries as everyone else starts to panic. Now, I feel like if you've seen both of these films, you'll know what I mean, but Breakheart Pass would make a great double bill with 1972's sci-fi creature feature Horror Express, which is basically the same movie as this, just with a life force sucking alien on board. Instead of extraterrestrials here, we of course get bloodthirsty criminals, especially in the shape of Robert Tessier's Levi Calhoun, a notorious baddie waiting for the train with a small army of Indians at Breakheart Pass. And yeah, I forgot to mention that this is all leading towards a mini war movie finale. Yeah, this is all great manly man excitement. For a 95-minute movie, your ticket gets you fistfights atop moving trains, cowboys and Indians, secret identities, shootouts in trains, shootouts on trains, and shootouts in the snowy wilderness. Throw in a couple of unexpected double crosses and some excellent practical train crashes and explosions. And this, of course, being from the pen of Alistair MacLean, some of the logic may take a back seat, so don't try and unravel the plot too much. Now, as action-packed as it can get, if you're expecting a traditional Western with rapid-fire shootouts every 5 minutes, it may disappoint, because as much time is handed over to gathering our characters together and letting us know that each one of them may have some sort of little secret, or at least appear to be acting like they have, and then letting us watch as bodies pile up and suspicions and accusations are thrown around the train. And Alistair MacLean, of course, was known for The Guns of the Navarone and Where Eagles Dare, so secret identities and double crosses are par for the course. And much like those movies, Breakheart Pass is enjoyable in the just the right side of cartoonish sort of way. Veteran TV director Tom Gries, probably best known for 1968's Will Penny, directs with a steady hand and gets a good balance between the confined setting of the train and the great outdoors of the Rocky Mountains. He keeps plot developments pretty brisk and pretty taut, and he, of course, benefits from a cast filled with top-notch character actors. Richard Crenna playing the affable but suspicious Governor Fairchild with that smooth charisma. Ed Lautner as the tough but fair Major Claremont. And I do enjoy Ben Johnson's tough as all boots Marshal Pierce. And of course, Jill Ireland usually irritates me, but to be fair, does bring a welcome bit of feminine emotion here and a bit of vulnerability to America. Even though her role is quite limited, she basically disappears in the film's third act. Now, of course, at the centre of Breakheart Pass is Charles Bronson, whose performance is the film's anchor. And shout out to his stunt double here, who gets some great moving train rooftop fisticuffs that look cool, but in no way will fool you that that's actually Charles Bronson. So as I mentioned, Breakheart Pass is technically a Western, but it's also a murder mystery thriller. If you replace Bronson with Hercule Poirot, it would work as a more action-packed Murder on the Orient Express. There's also a kind of 007 espionage element here, and the whole thing's got quite a dark undercurrent if you look closely. There's certainly a cynical post-Watergate tone. Almost every person of power is corrupt here. There's the use of the US Army for illicit purposes, the greed and dodgy dealings of government officials, and it shines a light on frontier lawlessness as opposed to the romanticised westerns of the 50s. So unfortunately, Breakheart Pass was a bit of a film out of time back in 1975. It failed at the box office, with audiences instead queuing up for the thrills of Jaws or the drama of One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest that year. Now, there's certainly a mid to late 60s feeling to the production here. And remember that this was just a year after the nasty revenge thrills of Death Wish and the hard arsery of Breakout. And maybe Bronson was a bit too restrained here. Audiences at this point really wanted to see him blowing away as many bad guys as possible. Still, for fans of Alistair MacLean's work and Bronson's unique brand of straight-faced heroics, or anyone interested in westerns that aren't afraid to take the genre in a little bit of a different direction, Breakheart Pass is well worth the ride. It may not stand as tall as some of the genre's greatest entries, but it's an entertaining and quite sinister journey that successfully fuses mystery with frontier action. Go check it out.
Where's your gun?
I don't have a gun. It's the engineer. Oh! Yeah. No.